when we fully reopen, we're going to have a party. I would say start planning to go shopping.
Hey, Kyle here. If we haven't met yet, I'm the lead pastor of Generation Church and the secretary for the Hazeldale Salmon Creek Business Association. As part of our initiative to support local businesses during this season, I'm sitting down with local business owners and operators to hear their story, learn how they're navigating COVID-19, and what you, the community, can do to support them. In today's interview, I sit down with Deanna Gaines. Deanna is the owner of Wild Fern Boutique. Deanna shares some incredible insights about the fashion of Vancouver and what type of things people can expect as she looks towards reopening. I hope that you enjoyed today's interview. Let us know your biggest takeaway. Hey, welcome to today's interview. My name is Kyle. I am sitting down with Deanna. Deanna, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am the owner of Wild Fern Boutique. I have 2 daughters, and I started this store to grow the community, 4 years ago.
What's it been like starting a business? And give us a snapshot of how long you guys have been around.
So I was actually a massage therapist before this. So getting into retail was very different for me. It's totally the other, using the other side of the brain, more business minded, more social rather than personal. At the time I lived in downtown Vancouver, and we really needed retail down there. And it was kind of time to make a switch. I had been hoping for retail to open up down there for quite a while, and it never did. So a space opened up, and, which is kind of rare, especially at that time 4 years ago. And I decided to go ahead and, I thought about it for a year. I did a lot of research, went to my favorite places to kind of see how they ran things, and then decided to open up. And, it's been good ever since. I love people, but having the background that I have, being very personable, it brings a different element to retail. I think, it's more of a social aspect, but it's really good to kind of get down with the customers and, get to know their families and what they're up to and who's in on vacation, and, get to know them as individuals, not just as a customer.
Tell us a little bit more about building some relationships with your customers. How has that gone as you started 4 years ago?
I really had to, I had to learn a lot. I had, my old career was like for around 10 years. So it's just very different. What's great about being in retail now is that, and having your own business, is that you can tailor it to your personality and your interests, as well as what, the needs of the customer and your, and what they're looking for as well. It's been very awesome to get to know people more on the, personal level as customers, and seeing families come in and getting to know, who's going off to college, who's moving away, who's moving back, and the people who are moving over here from, California, Oregon, Texas. So we're getting a lot of new residents that are really excited about retail, especially in the downtown area.
How does that translate to what you have available in the boutique and what you guys sell as you've met and you see some of these changes?
Well, because it's changing so much, honestly, it's hard to get a read on what to carry. So I really do use my instincts. I put in the store what I like and what I appreciate that generally you can't find in Vancouver, because we have a few more boutiques that are that have risen. Sometimes there's that overlay, which I think is okay, because one store can call another store and say, hey, I know you have this brand, do you have this size?
Mhm.
And that just really builds community among, the fellow boutiques, rather than a competition, because we can kind of feed off of each other's stock, in that way.
Mhm.
But we definitely try to carry things that no one else carries.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot more Pacific Northwest wear. We're kind
Okay.
of known for that.
Well, I was gonna say, as I hear you talk and just kind of describe that, that seems almost unique in the terms of rather than competing so much with other businesses, you're trying to collaborate and rely on each other and communicate with each other, which is I think is really cool as you develop that community. What are you learning right now as a business owner and as you've transitioned into running a boutique?
Boy, if I thought I multitasked before, I really am now.
Hmm.
It's really true. You hear a lot of things about, your work is never done, and it's true. I'll wake up at 3 a.m. and remember, oh, hey, I got to get this sign out, or oh, that person didn't get back to me. I need to remember to call them in the morning, or I thought of this idea, or I'm messaging people on Instagram at 6 a.m. It's a lot of mindfulness, I would say, but you have to really stay grounded in that. So for me, with my background, I try to take things as I can, and I don't want to be the business that's stressed out or have a stressed out environment whatsoever. It's pretty relaxed in there, and I think all the customers would agree that we're pretty chill. And that's the way I like it. I don't, everything in stride. Learning technology was a really big deal for me. And also foreshadowing. You get to go to the shows and see the line sheets and work with the vendors, and they tell you all these things are great. This is what's working for them in California or on the East Coast. But I have to know what Vancouver wants, or to see what I can see them wearing. So that's been the biggest, it's not really a challenge, but my biggest thought in my mind is, what are people in Vancouver, what are they going to wear? What would they want to wear out of this selection that I need to handpick?
Give us a little insight into some Vancouver style, because you're filtering through all these different regions and trying to pick out some stuff for Vancouver. So give us a little bit of insight. I won't ask you to give away all of your secrets and for the style, but what
I would say our best sellers are flannels for men and women, hats, because Vancouver doesn't really have a hat store. So the really field hats, I guess is what you would call them, fedoras, the bohemian hats. Those are, everyone's wearing those. And the fiddler hats, a lot of people are wearing those. It's almost on every single Netflix show, Netflix, Hulu show you can find. Some guy has a hooligan hat on, or something like that. And that's been around for a very long time. But Vancouver is really getting into that. But I will say this: having neutrals in the store is a really great idea, because Vancouver doesn't necessarily venture out into like the bright colors that might be suggested by other regions. So yeah, so that's it's very interesting, but I think at some point people will, venture out there a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But definitely people love a lot of the prints. So Vancouver got really excited that we carried so many prints throughout our 4 years. They kind of reacted in a way where they've never seen them before.
So how has this season affected you as a business owner?
Well, we had to close mid-March, and really, it's like we're skipping spring. The spring season literally has been skipped. So when we reopen, it's going to be basically summer selection. Still though, it's learning that, because I wanted the business, the retail business, to build a relationship with customers, not to do online sales. So everyone knows I was a little hesitant with that. And I still am a little bit. So I'm really excited to get back to the people, to have that one-on-one, that personalized shopping experience.
So this season has not been something that's been easy for you, and it's if I'm hearing you right, it's not been something that's been easy. And
I would say also that there's a lot of vendors that aren't supplying the product. So we maybe only a third of our, not even a third, maybe a fourth of our vendors are available to purchase, so it's a very weird situation.
Okay.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I know a lot of people are having to really scramble and learn new things and be innovative, so it's difficult, and I'm so thankful for everyone's patience. And, there's a lot of love out there right now for small businesses, and it shows. I tell you, those people want to hug you and cry with you, but they can't hug you.
Yeah.
What do you do? So, it's just a very interesting time.
Yeah. So have you felt supported during this season as a small business owner?
I have felt supported, for sure. I would say business-wise, selling, sales, not so much. And I think a lot of retail feels that, because it's just so easy to go to the big chains and get their favorite things. I can think of a few stores where I'm sure they're just killing it because they've had this online presence forever, and they're giving a lot of discounts. So I think it's hard for small business to keep up with that.
As the state looks towards reopening in the coming phases, what are some things that you would like to share with potential new customers and some prior customers to help them understand what's coming for Wild Fern Boutique in the coming weeks and months?
Probably limited shopping access, which is still an improvement. I think we're going to have to, have some health things in place, like masks and, wiping things down. So we'll be doing that. We'll be, complying with all the health regulations and everything. There'll be personalized shopping appointments very soon. But when we fully reopen, we're gonna have a party. So we'll just do like a party and have a sale and just kind of really start off on the right foot. In that respect, I hesitate to even say that because we're not supposed to be coming together as a community, and that sucks.
Yeah, it does.
So I'm not, how to gauge that, I don't know, here you say like, oh, we're gonna have a party, only 10 people. I mean, I know it's not gonna be 10 people, but it's conflicting. But we're gonna see what we can do about that. We want to hear what's been going on with everyone. How they've been. I'm sure we'll be hearing about how everyone's been dealing with it, and some new things that they've received from other stores. Maybe they, I don't know. I'm sure we'll hear about it, but I can't wait.
That leads me to, what are some ways that the community can support you and other local businesses during this season?
I would say start planning to go shopping as soon as this is over. Bring a girlfriend, make plans with your family, and I'm a huge supporter of gathering. So I don't want to disrespect people who don't want to gather. But, you know, I think gathering opens the heart, and the heart is very, very helpful in staying healthy. So I'm for, you know, happy things and, you know, coming together and everything like that. So I would just say, you know, make plans with people, and then go out to brunch. Make it every weekend, go out and, you know, go get coffee, go shopping, you know, yeah, go down to the waterfront. But in the meantime, you know, grab your favorite gift cards from places, and also, you know, tag people on social media. You know, tell them, hey, I'm thinking about you, you know, or hey, or will you have this, you know, coming up in a couple months? Will you have this in stock? You know, everyone's pretty good with their communication right now. If when they're not technically open, people are returning calls, all different, you know, businesses. So we want that communication. I think all of us do. You know, we want to keep everyone in the loop, and we want them to keep us in the loop.
What are some ways that people can find you right now in this season? Where can they locate you? And as you look to reopen, where can they expect some of those coming announcements?
So right now, you can find us on Instagram or Facebook. Our tag is at Wild Fern Boutique. Also, our website is www.wildfernboutique.com. You know, we check messages, emails, we're doing all of that, trying to stay connected.
Well, thanks for joining us on today's interview. It's been a blast sitting down with Deanna, and go support Wild Fern Boutique. Tag them on Instagram, tag them on Facebook. Go support local, and we cannot wait until they reopen, because we're all going to come down and join that party. So
I'll be there.
Yes, tons of fun. Thanks for joining us on today's interview.
Thank you.